What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here bringing you some more Series 10 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today we're trying a really cool team submitted by one of my viewers. His name is Chris Reitz. So this is the team that he used to get to Master Ball, and he really wanted me to show it off, and I'm really excited for it. So it's another Zacian team. I know we have obviously used Zacian on the channel before, but I think this one is a really cool take for a lot of reasons. I think one of the big ones is Suicune, right? Suicune's not something you see a lot in the format right now, but I think it is an incredible threat. It is just a very sort of defensive powerhouse and can tank a lot of hits, and has that ability to set up Tailwind, which can be really, really crucial in a lot of matches. You also do have things like Snarl for dealing with Calyrex, you do have Scald as well as Ice Beam for overall really great coverage, and I'm really excited to see what this Suicune can do. Next up, we do have Prankster as Thundurus. This is a very HP invested Thundurus with the idea that you have really good support with Scary Face, Taunt, and Thunderbolt. So excited to see like how that really handles things. It has a really great matchup into Zacian, resisting both of its attacks and being able to fire off Scary Face. Also going for things like Taunt to stop something like a Substitute, and Thunderbolt just for pretty good damage in a lot of situations. Next up, we have Rillaboom. So this is a Rillaboom with Drum Beating, which is a really interesting tech, mainly to help deal with a lot of the Serenas in the format, protecting Kyogre, because now you do have that ability just to hit into it without fear, and you aren't going to take nearly as much recoil with Drum Beating. I mean, you're not taking any recoil with Drum Beating as opposed to something like a Wood Hammer, where you're going to sacrifice just a ton of your HP for pretty much overkill. Next up, this is really interesting. Zacian with Close Combat. I feel like I haven't seen too many Zacians with Close Combat. They've mostly been Sacred Sword, and they've all been very sort of defensive oriented, whereas this one is a very hyper offensive Zacian with nearly max attack and max speed. So hoping to see like that really play a role in picking up some big scary KOs where my opponents aren't really expecting it. Next up is Incineroar. Really not much to say about that. This is a fairly offensive Incineroar, being Adamant Nature and having a good amount of attack investment. So really excited for that. We also do have Throat Chop, which is really cool tech to stop things like Parting Shot and Snarls from opposing Incineroars, and really excited to see how that plays out. And finally, we do have Landorus. This is a pretty interesting take. It is a Scarf Landorus, being able to outspeed Calyrex, which kind of seems to be the norm at this point of, hey, what can we do to outspeed Calyrex? And you kind of have to assume something on an opposing team is scarfed. So really interesting set. You do have the ability to pivot with U-turn as well as Rock Slide for the chance of flinch, and other than that, it is pretty straightforward. So we do obviously have the team ID on the screen. I tried to recreate a paste as best as I could, and obviously if there's any problems, feel free to let me know on that. But yeah, here's the team, and let's just get rocking and rolling and move to the first game. Alright, battle number 1, and it is a Calyrex Ice team. It's a very interesting one at that. Calyrex Ice with Stack Attacka, Indeedee with Entei, Lowland Executor, and Urshifu. So trying to figure out what is the best. Incin is obviously huge here. Landorus is tempting. I'm gonna go with Incin for sure. Do I want to lead Incin? I'm gonna do Incin Suicune. I do like Rillaboom to be able to change terrain. I think that that's gonna be really vital. And the question is, what do I want in the back? Oh wait, I want Zacian. That is just kidding. We know 100% what I want in the back. So let's try this, because we do pressure the Entei with Suicune, and I think that is going to be really important, right? Because the Entei does scare us, but other than that, we are in a really good position with what we have. We do also have to worry about stack, but Suicune is handling a lot of the main threats that we are facing here, and my opponent's getting really close on time. So interested to see. Okay, so I don't think they timed out, but if we see a Calyrex with Stack Attacka, that is kind of very much in our favor and a pretty good spot, in all honesty. Thundurus would have been nice for potential taunts, but I don't really want that given. Okay, so we do see Entei, and we do see the Indeedee come out from my opponent. So what? We don't really have to worry too much about what Entei can do, just due to the fact that we have Suicune out, so we do have access to Throat Chop into... Right, we can just go for a very easy Throat Chop into... Ooh, they could have Stomping Tantrum. We can swap into Rillaboom and go for a Scald. Rillaboom will change the terrain, which is nice for us, because I don't expect to see... Sorry, I love Alolan Executor. It's the silliest Pokemon ever. It's so funny. Sorry. Into Suicune. I was like, that is an incredible read. They are going to get the burn, which is going to matter in the long run. But we are... Wow, that's a solid 2-hit KO onto Entei. And so now is the question of what? I don't expect Entei to have Protect. I'm going to swap back into Incineroar. Yeah, I'm going to swap into Incin here. And... Scald the Entei slot? I expect you to want to preserve Entei. So I'm going to Ice Beam into Executor. Right, okay, so that's great. We are going to see the swap out there. Into Indeedee to block a Fake Out onto the Executor. I'm hoping, because of the fact that it is ×4 weak to this Ice Beam, that we pick up the KO. Because otherwise we are going to have to take a Wood Hammer, and that is, like, this is our answer essentially to Entei, especially if Entei is Scarfed, which we haven't really been able to confirm or deny. We do connect to the Ice Beam. Please don't be Focus Sash, and please just... Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay. So, as the children would say, this is bad. Okay, that's fine. Things could be a lot worse. We, can now go for a Throat Chop? I think a Throat Chop onto Indeedee? Throat Chop onto Indeedee, swap out into Rillaboom. Rillaboom changes the terrain, starts providing recovery, and then we have Fake Out into potential problems. We also now have the advantage that Suicune is faster than Entei. Which can really help, because the Entei is kind of what's scaring us the most. We will see the switch out from Alolan Executor, I'm guessing, into Calyrex. Yep, we are going to see Calyrex come out. So as long as Indeedee stays in, this is fine for us, because we do have the ability to pivot out with Incineroar, using Fake Out from Rillaboom to get a second, or to get an Intimidate onto Calyrex. Especially if this Indeedee is not Focus Sash. If it's Safety Goggles, like, and we can KO it this turn. Wow, that... Oh, it's Focus Sash. Yeah, Focus Sash is a little scary. We are going to see Expanding Force in a Rillaboom, but not a big deal. Kind of a big deal. Because now what? We can go for... We know that they have Entei and... we could just Flare Blitz. No, I wanna go for a Parting Shot here, as well as a Fake Out onto it. Because then what we can do is we can cycle in Incineroar again for the Rillaboom and really try and maintain terrain control, and also put on pressure with the fact that Suicune should tank whatever Calyrex wants to go for, and having the grassy terrain means we can offset a lot of the damage from the burn. So that should put us in a very comfortable position, because yeah, I think once Calyrex is at -1, we have a huge advantage. We also can really take advantage of the fact that Throat Chop, what am I saying? Throat Chop is going to hit really hard. We will see the switch in. I can't take this thing seriously. This is perfect. Okay, this is great, because now what we get is we get a parting shot off from Calyrex into Suicune. We can then subsequently switch out again into Incineroar. Let's bring this out, because now what? We threaten. This is tricky. I think we Ice Beam into Alolan Executor, hoping we can take a hit from Suicune, or take a hit from it on Suicune, and then try to KO. I mean, we have to live 2. Oh, that thing was a pain. I literally don't know how we're gonna beat Executor. Let's swap back into Incin, and then go for. This is risky. But the thing is, like, I think I need to go for it with Suicune. Because we will be able to we're getting Calyrex to -2. I don't expect a Glacial Lance to pick up a KO at this point. Like, we have a ton of defense investment. So the question is, Sleep Powder I'm actually okay with. Which they called the read very well. We should very comfortably take a Glacial Lance. Right? Survey says it does... Yeah, negligible damage, especially with, what is it called? With the recovery. And I'm hoping... Well, okay, so we have the advantage that Suicune can't be burned. I gotta push for another Ice Beam before it's able to go for a Harvest. And I'm fine just clicking Parting Shot here, knowing that this is gonna be my turn of sleep. I could have actually swapped out into Zacian, but I do want to burn off some of the sleep on. Oh no. Okay, so you're gonna return. Okay, Calyrex returns to neutral. But that's fine because if we can end the Trick Room, we will see high horsepower into Incin. Incin hangs on. Great, we love it. Incin fast asleep. We get rid of Alolan Executor. And now what? You are... This is fine. This is fine. This is fine because we still have Zacian. And Zacian, we know the item on Calyrex. So the thing is, if we can bring out Zacian after Trick Room expires, which it does now. So your best bet is what? Entei? No, because Indeedee, interesting. This is potentially scary. I want to go for a Scald here. And nope. This is risky. This is risky business. Because Suicune should outspeed Indeedee, so we can KO Indeedee that way. And then if we wake up and we Parting Shot out, we can bring out what, Zacian safely for a switch back into Incineroar to get you to -2 while we have a... Oh no, because then we have to worry about Entei. So the scary thing is if you Trick Room with Calyrex. Yeah, getting a Trick Room up with Calyrex really forces a hard endgame. We will get the Scald off. We will get rid of Indeedee. So we need Incin to wake up, and we need to... Okay, that's great. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I went for a Parting Shot. That's not what I wanted to do. That is... No, this is still fine. We can, I actually should have brought out Rillaboom, because then we would have had Fake. No. What? We get the yep. Oh. Oh, okay. Wow, Suicune just ate that up. Okay, so this is fine. You went for the you went for a Glacial Lance onto both of us, because now what we can do is Suicune will beat Entei. So what we do is we go for a Scald onto this slot, as well as a Protect here in the event that Entei is Scarfed. Because then, yeah, we'll KO with Suicune, because I expect either Scarf or Assault Vest. I'm probably Assault Vest. So what we can do is we KO the Entei, and then the question, I mean, like, it's still not over, because we do need to beat the Calyrex somehow. And especially if Calyrex gets up a Trick Room, like, I guess I can try and cycle Intimidates with Incin. That's really my best bet, would be to cycle Intimidates with Incin. We will see a Sacred Fire come out into Zacian, very expected. Scald will... Actually, I mean, if we swap out Suicune into Incin and then just go for a Behemoth Blade, I feel very comfortable. As we will see, even better, a high horsepower into the Zacian slot. So that should pretty comfortably clean up the game, because at this point we just have the ability to swap Suicune into Incin and then pressure with a Behemoth Blade. And I think given the fact that we are almost max attack, yeah, that'll cancel for game number 1. So a really cool one, a really close one. I do definitely want to see if we can see my opponent's team to know what item was on that Entei. But unfortunately we don't get to see. But yeah, really good first game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and this is a tricky one. It's another Zacian team. So it is Regieleki with Incineroar, a Zacian, Whimsicott, or Shifu, and a Galarian Zapdos. So what? I do really like Thundurus, but I think Thundurus just has to worry about a lot of things, particularly a risk Surging Strike. But what? Rillaboom Thundurus feels very safe. I like that with Zacian and probably Landorus in the back. Suicune is tempting, but it doesn't really do much. So we will lose the Speed War, but we do have Prankster Scary Face. And Incin is also really tempting. I'm gonna go with these 4. Let's see how it plays out. I think this is a fairly tricky sort of matchup to deal with. So figuring out like what our outs are is going to be important. I'm expecting. So yeah, the bigger question too is also like, what is the Zacian spread on my opponent? Because that'll play a huge role in. Okay, Wimmy and Zapdos. I can live with this, right? Because we immediately threaten Thunderbolt into their Zapdos, and we can fake out onto Whimsicott. Yeah, so we have the ability to just do that, as well as fake out here. And so we might give up Rillaboom, but that trade, I don't really want to make that trade. I mean, what? If you Brave Bird into Rillaboom, we will see Zapdos switch out. They didn't have a Landorus, did they? We will see a Zacian. Okay, that's fine with me. Zacian is definitely not going to appreciate a Thunderbolt. as we do just get the fake out onto their Whimsicott. So that, wow, ugh, that did a lot of damage. Thunderbolt will come out, and not as much damage as I would have liked, but we are still in a fine position. I'm going to switch out into Arlandorus. Yeah, I think this is this is a really big turn. So what has to happen is what? You go for a sub. We will see the taunt. So that's actually bad. Can't use taunt. Okay, that is very bad. I was hoping that that turn would go very differently. We will eat a Behemoth Blade on Landorus, and unfortunately, yeah, we will lose our Landorus. And I think, what do we do here? We bring out our Zacian. We have to hope that we can survive a Behemoth Blade and KO back with our own. That's really what it's going to come down to. So what we have to do is we have to Thunderbolt into Whimsicott and go for a Behemoth Blade onto their Zacian. And we need to do it when they have Chip, and we can't really risk waiting for them to recover more. So yeah, I know this will be an interesting calc, because I know that Zacian at +1 can KO an opposing Zacian. So we need to see kind of how this plays out. We will see, yep, their Behemoth Blade. And so the question is, do you have enough investment to KO me? Survey says, okay, we hold on. Okay, this is doable now. Because we will be able to, at this point, we should KO their Zacian, right? We managed to pick up the KO there, which is great. Crit, I'm pretty sure, was unnecessary. We know that they have Zapdos in the back. We will get some nice chip damage onto this Whimsicott. So what we're probably going to be forced to protect into whatever they bring out. We know that they have Zapdos. The question is, what is their last one? It is Urshifu, the scary one. Okay, we do that. We have to Thunderbolt here, and we're basically gonna sacrifice Zacian. We're gonna have to sacrifice Zacian for a sweet free switch-in into Rillaboom, with the hope that you target into Zacian. Right, we're gonna see the Moonblast come out into Thundurus. Probably a double up into, I'm guessing a double up into Thundurus. No, that's perfect. Okay, that's great. We will take the KO onto Zacian for hopefully a 2-hit KO onto this Urshifu, which is Life Orb. Okay, this is good, right? Because we do significant damage there. I need to know when the grass expires. That's actually a really big question. We can now bring out Rillaboom. I think from this range, we will be able to KO Urshifu with a Grassy Glide. There's one turn of grassy terrain left. So I am going to... Let's go for a Thunderbolt here. This Whimsicott's such a pain. Let's just go for it. I do expect, like I said, it protects from... Okay, so we see a Sucker Punch. That's fine. Thundurus hangs on. Oh, because now we lose Thunderous. Yeah, so the correct play would have been to protect Thunderous, but yeah, I mean that was a really good read because now you take out my only answer for, what is it called, for Zapdos, because now you have a very free Zapdos switch in for a Brave Bird, and obviously with the terrain gone, I can't even go for a priority attack. So what I should have done, yeah, what I should have done actually would have been to, no, because you, I think in the end the outcome is the same, just due to the fact that even if we had protected and we had KO'd Urshifu, we still would have had to, like, you would have just KO'd Thunder. Oh no, because Thunderous would have, you set up Tailwind with Whimsicott, you KO Thunderous with Zapdos, and then the outcome, yeah, I mean that was a ton of recoil. I think it was close. I think, yeah, having to sacrifice Landorus was really unfortunate, and I think if we had brought Zacian, brought Incin instead, we would have been in a significantly better place. But I guess I was really afraid of Zapdos, but still a really good match, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, 3 for 3 with Zacian today, and it is a very similar team. It is Zacian, Regieleki with Landorus, an Incineroar, Gothitelle, and a Moongus. So this is tricky because Safety Goggles is on Thunderous. We do have Taunt with Thunderous, so Thunderous no. Thunderous Suicune? Every lead gets punished. That's the problem. Because if I do Incin, because if you lead Goth Lando, no, actually, Incin Suicune doesn't get punished. With Zacian in the back, and then Thunderous doesn't really do anything. Let's bring our Lando. Yeah, I think this is our really best chance. Because like I said, it does create a scenario where we are punished the least. Yeah, because it gives us a response to everything, because if you fake out, we can set up Tailwind with Suicune to guarantee we beat something like the Landorus. So I think it's about figuring out how to beat that. Okay, so we do see, perfect. Okay, so we see Lando. Goth has fake out. Goth is faster than Incin. Spoke too soon. We can still go for the, I think we still go for the Tailwind. We can create a scenario where, okay. Are you gonna Perish Song? You could Perish Song. We are going to see a, okay, that's great. That's perfect outcome for me. We are going to set up a Tailwind. We are what? Base 81, so base 162. Oh no, because minimum speed on Zacian is 167. So we can Parting Shot. I say we just go for what? Let's Throat Chop here. Go for a Scald on a Zacian because there's a chance of burn. And that way, yep, we account for the Zacian going for a Protect. The fear would be Trick Room. What does Gothitelle even do? It could, I mean, Trick Room is an option. That's good damage. I'll take that damage. Just kidding, you have a Berry. Citrus, we will see a Rock Tomb. You know, That's cool tech. I'm not mad about it. But we can safely double up into the Zacian slot now. We will see a helping hand, so the question is, what are you going to take your KO on? We will see a play rough. Why is every Zacian running play rough? Why is this the tech now? Scald's going to come out. Hopefully, if we can get a burn, that's an incredible position to be in. Service says, I would like to thank the Academy for this burn. Let's bring it our Zacian. I want to try and get a sub up. I'm hoping that we can set up a sub pretty freely, given the fear of us attacking into their Zacian, right? So what I can do is I can sub expecting a Protect and a Rock Tomb, and go for let's go for another Scald into their Goth. I think it was pretty lucky that we hit the what is it called? Hit the attack. We hit the burn, but they also hit the play rough, so like it works out. They're going to still go for Behemoth Blade into me. I think that that's actually really smart, because now, yeah, you're gonna get rid of my substitute, and you can go for a Rock Tomb onto. God, Gothitelle, why won't you die? Yeah, that was smart. Even if it does 4 damage, you are still reducing my speed, but their Zacian is super low. So what we can do is we can go for a Protect as well as a second Tailwind. And I'm guessing that at even at -1, we're still going to outspeed their Zacian. We are going to see a swap out from Goth. I'm guessing they have an Incineroar of their own. They have an Amoonguss. Okay, so this is not. Oh. Okay, this is a thing. This is a game. We are seeing. Suicune is faster. We can. I don't expect you to target. So this is a risky switch with very little reward, and by very little I mean none. Yeah, I guess what I'm calling a Protect on Zacian with a Spore from Amoonguss into my Zacian, because they just threatened with Swords Dance. And if that's the case, if we can bring out Landorus very freely the turn their Rillaboom goes for a Protect, that really should help us out. The question though is this no. Haha. Imagine if I had set up a substitute. That would have been great. Instead, we are going to just take a nap as we hit into this of. Come on, man. Oh, okay. That's actually fine. We can hit here and then we are guaranteed to be asleep. I want to take out your Zacian, and I would just like to pretend I'm going to wake up this turn. I think it's. Is it fine if both of my Pokemon are asleep? I think it's fine. Oh yeah, that's Rage Powder is a thing. Let's think. What do we do now? We pick up the knockout here. You're most likely going to knock out one of my Pokemon with your Zacian. The question is which one. You're probably going to knock out my I would knock out Landorus. I feel like Landorus is a much bigger threat into you, but let's see. Okay, Landorus goes down. Or Landorus lives. Great. We still have a turn of Tailwind left. You're most likely going to bring out Gothitelle, right? Gothitelle is the obvious choice because Gothitelle gives you fake out pressure, so that way you can prevent me from. You can try and KO my Landorus, right? You bring out Gothitelle, you fake out into Landorus, and you protect your Zacian. And yeah, you just need to hope that KOs. Because Landorus has taken a turn of sleep. Yeah, we saw that with the U-turn. Yeah, so that is your best bet at this point, is to try and pick up the KO with fake out. Protect Zacian. Zacian is getting super low from the burn. We will see Okay, interesting. We will see Landorus come out. There is still one turn of Tailwind left. Behemoth Blade here and Earth Power here. We're at +1. We do see Protect come out. That's fine. I do want to wake up. If Zacian wakes up... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, duh. You are... Okay, great. This is fine, because now my Landorus has another chance to wake up. They don't know that I'm Scarfed. And so what we can do is we switch out into Suicune. And we KO their Landorus, right? Because we bring out Suicune here. And we go for an Earth Power onto you. Because Suicune should beat Landorus. So will Zacian, because Zacian is faster. So assuming we get this, we're fine. Because then even if it's Goth, I need to wake up with Landorus. My only chance of winning this is Landorus waking up, because that'll KO their Zacian, and then it's going to be their Goth and Landorus versus my Zacian and Suicune. We threaten the tail, because they shouldn't be able to KO Suicune, so we can set up Tailwind, or we don't even need Tailwind, because we can just KO their Landorus with Zacian, and then KO their Goth with Suicune. So we need to... Okay. Potentially winnable. They got greedy. We are going to see a Sludge Bomb come out into our Landorus. So the thing is, we're max speed Zacian. So we should... Max speed Zacian... What do we do? We can try and endgame it with Suicune. So we set up Tailwind. We set up Tailwind predicting a Protect. Set up Tailwind. Go for a Behemoth Blade onto Landorus. Right? Because I'm calling, you're going to protect Zacian. Just kidding. You're not going to protect Zacian. That was a really bad idea. So we get the KO. Where do you attack? We're gonna see a play rough into Suicune. God, Suicune is so good. Suicune is so good. That's like a plus 4 Zacian. Okay, so yeah, I think my opponent getting really greedy with that second Sword Stance is what cost them. I obviously also don't want to say anything yet because things are not over, but we can do a Scald here as well as a Behemoth Blade into their Zacian. And I think that should wrap it up. Like I said, I think they got a little bit greedy with that second Sword Stance, and it wasn't needed just because of the fact that they could have gone for a big double KO. Whereas now I was able to position myself back, and then also the fact that, like I said, we did get lucky with the burn with Scald, but they also hit 2 play roughs, so like, it happens. But yeah, it's been a very cool first couple games with this team. I really like it so far. I think it's fairly different from a lot of my playstyle, and I'm really excited to see where it takes us. But yeah, with that, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see...